Dear students, today I am going to continue the second part under the topic classification of elements and periodicity in properties. That is, periodicity in properties that I am going to discuss today. I am Dr. R. Gunasthekaran, Professor of Chemistry, is taking class for you. Before entering into the periodic properties, let me give concentration for electronic configuration of element, because then only we can easily discuss the periodic property. So general electronic configurations are given here. For S block elements, NS1, NS2 is the common. The first group, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium, have NS1, N equal to 1 to 7. The same way for second group, alkaline earth metal, NS2 completed. Beryllium, 2s2. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, radium. The same way, P block elements, these again 6 groups are there. Boron family, carbon family, nitrogen family, oxygen family, halogen family, and inert gas elements. Here NS2 is common, but only starting from boron 1, P1. So boron, so that group here, that is B block, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. So this is the actual. So I can write here boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. This is the second period. Kindly follow. So here boron is 2s2 to P1. So automatically carbon P2, 2s2 to P2. This is 2s2 to P3. Oxygen 2s2 to P4, fluorine 2s2 to P5, and this is 2s2 to P6. Kindly follow. This is the general electronic configuration of P block elements. Coming for the D block elements, there are starting from 10 elements are there in the first transition series, and they have the general configurations of n-1d 1 to 10, ns 1 to 2. So let me write that one also. Kindly see here: scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. So these are the first transition series. Second and third transition series, it is not necessary to memorize, because even in PhD level, we not worry about that. So for higher technical level, this is you have to memorize. So here actually what is happening here, the general configuration is n-1d. So this is the fourth period. Fourth period means 4 minus 1, 3. So this is 3d. That means 3d1 actually 4s2. Kindly follow. 3d1 4s2. So automatically titanium d2, vanadium d3, chromium d4, manganese d5, iron d6, cobalt d7, nickel d8, copper d9, and zinc d10. The very, very important informations. This is the transition elements. So n-1d, 3d only filling up here. 4s2 is common. That's why it is called the D block elements. The most important information I want to give only 2 important points. One at the chromium, another at copper. You should be very careful. Because under the atomic structure, we have studied the half-filled and complete filled orbital is more stable than the partially filled orbitals. So chromium, instead of writing, I can write 3d4 4s2 So what I can write simply 3d5 4s1. This is the more stable form of chromium. Kindly follow. So I instead of writing d4, I will write 3d5 4s1 for chromium. Same way copper, instead of writing 3d9 4s2, I will write 3d10 4s1 for copper. So copper is completely filled, more stable. It is the only two exception you have to remember in the case of D block elements. And coming for F block elements, n minus 1 d of 1 to 40, then n minus 1 d 1 to 10 and ns 1 to 2. So this configuration, it's not so important for us because it's very difficult to memorize also. But why we are calling it as F block elements? Only in F block it is filling up, starting from F1 to 14 elements are filling up. Okay. Now, just see here, my dear students, this is the long form of periodic table. So why I am discussing here, I am showing the periodic table. So we are going to discuss some 5 periodic properties. And this immediately you must know the position. Suppose if we know the name of the element, immediately we must recognize the atomic number, we must recognize the electronic configuration. And all the three, see, out of 3, one is atomic number, number 2 name of the element, third is electronic configuration. If one is known, other 2 can be easily identified. That is the most important. Say for example, first group alkali metal always NS1. So one starting from hydrogen, lithium, etc. 1s1, 2s1, 3s1, 4s like that. Second group beryllium S2, NS2 general. And D I have already given for you. That is n minus 1 D 1 to 10. Then NS 1 to 2 I have already explained. Coming for here boron family B block elements, kindly follow NS2 NP1. Boron 1, carbon 2, nitrogen 3, oxygen 4, halogen 5 and inert gases 6. So N2, NS2, NP6, that is the general electronic configuration for inert gas element, all P block elements. So the inner transition series, it is starting from D1, 3D1, 4S2. The general is N minus 1 means 3D1, 4S2, kindly follow. So scandium D1, titanium D2, this is vanadium 3, chromium 4, I have already explained the explanation. The manganese 5, iron 6, cobalt 7, nickel 8, copper 9, zinc 10, D10. The 2 exceptions I have in chromium and copper, instead of D4 we have to write D5, in copper instead of D9 we have to write D10. So this you have to keep it in mind, very, very, very interesting informations. So another important information I want to give, kindly follow, how to memorize the atomic number. Dear students, so here you cannot see, it's very, very, the small letter you cannot see, so I can write it very clearly to see helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. This is the 18th group. So what is the atomic number 2 here? So now the elements are 8 elements in the 2 periods. So 2 plus 8, 10. 10 plus 8, 18. So atomic number of helium, neon, argon 8. This is helium, argon 18. Then 2 times 18. So 18 plus 18, 36. 36 plus 18, 54. Kindly follow. The next one, we have to, coming over lanthanides and actinides, the 32 elements. So I will add 54 plus 32, 86. So radon, I can think that the radon is 86. Kindly follow. So this is the very, very important. Kindly follow now. So 2, 10, 18, 2, 10, 18, 36, 54, 86, and plus 32, 118. Kindly see, this is the last one, 118. That is octium. It is given octium. The name I have already discussed. So if you memorize this, easily you can identify the atomic number of halogen, oxygen family, nitrogen family, carbon family, the boron family, and also this side. Kindly see here, this is 1, so automatically this is 3, this is 11, this is 19, kindly follow, then this is 37, this is 55, kindly follow, then 87. So easily we can memorize the atomic number, identify the atomic number. So if I know the atomic number, I tell the element, name of the element. If I know the name of the element, I can write the electronic configuration. I hope this is the way you have to. So what you have to memorize, please, I will tell you, my dear students, please keep it in mind. Alkali metal, alkaline earth metals, boron family, carbon family, nitrogen family, oxygen family, halogen family, and inert gas elements. All the elements you have to memorize. And also, in the fourth period, the first transition series, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc, you have to memorize. So, let me say this way, boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. So if you are able to memorize this, you can do a lot of wonders in the inorganic chemistry. Not only inorganic, in general chemistry also. So kindly memorize this. Okay, let me go for the next one. Electronic configuration of that is the worksheet I have already told you. Suppose, let me give you some simple example like this. So hydrogen, this is the lithium, this is beryllium, this is sodium, magnesium. So normally whenever any question is asked regarding the periodic property, we are going to see atomic size, ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, valency or oxidation state. They will give like these 4 elements, unknown 4 elements. What you have to find out, first you write the 4 elements in such a way that you should come along the group or along the period, such a way you must know the position of the element, you must know atomic number. Then based on that you can easily compare the properties. That's why I am telling you, you must know. Okay, let me come for periodic property. What is a periodic property? Any property which varies regularly either by increases or by decreases when we move across a group vertically or a period in a periodic table horizontally is called periodic property. Let me repeat again. Any property which varies regularly either by increases or by decreases when you move across a group or a period in a periodic table is called periodic property. So, important periodic properties are atomic size, number 1. Number 2, ionization energy, IE. Electron affinity, EN. Electronegativity, EA. Electron affinity, the negativity, EN. Valency, I can say V. So, these are the 5 important properties. Let me repeat again. Atomic size, ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, and valency. But first four important properties we must study, and valency, even though it is not given, but we must know that one. Okay, let me go one by one now. First, let me go for atomic size. Atomic size are also known as atomic radius. What is the definition here? The distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost shell of electron is called atomic size. Suppose there is an atom, say for example hydrogen. A nucleus is there, and an electron is in the outermost. If you are taking hydrogen atom. So the distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost shell of electron, this distance is called atomic size or atomic radius of hydrogen. In this case of hydrogen atom, hydrogen. Kindly follow. This is the atomic size. Now, when I say atomic size, I can further classify the concept into three terms. One is atomic radius or covalent radius I can use. Atomic radius strictly I can use for atomic element. Covalent radius I will use for molecular element. The second one, van der Waals radius. And third is ionic radius. Let me explain one by one. So here we have to give importance only for periodic property, atomic radius or covalent radius alone. First, let me come for atomic or covalent radius. One half of the distance between the nuclei of two covalently bonded atoms in a molecule is called covalent radius. One half of the distance between the nuclei of two covalently bonded atoms in a molecule is called covalent radius. Say for example, suppose you take hydrogen. So there are two hydrogen atoms, the nucleus here is the nucleus. Now the distance between two nucleus I can measure very easily by X-ray. So what will happen now? This distance, it is the diameter. So if I take one half of the distance between the two nuclei of two covalently bonded atoms in a molecule is called covalent radius. If it is an inert gas like argon, etc., atomic radius I will use. So in the case of hydrogen, it is experimentally proved the distance between two atoms is 0.74 Armstrong unit by 2. The radius of hydrogen atom is 0.37 Armstrong unit. This is atomic or covalent radius. Just see, this is the diagram. This is the radius. This half is radius. Kindly follow covalent radius. Now, I will say atomic radius or covalent radius is a periodic property. It's a periodic property because it increases across the group and decreases across the period. Very, very, very important. My dear students, please keep it in memory. Why I am saying keep it in memory? Because if you know the atomic radius, all other properties are just reverse of atomic radius, so easily you can memorize. So why increases across the group? You know, one s, one shell, sag 2, 3, 4. Extra shell is going on adding. So size increasing. So easily you can memorize when you move across the group, the size increases. But across the period, why size decreases? The reason is, kindly follow. Suppose you take the second period. You take second period. What is the second period? Let me take a second period. Lithium, beryllium, boron. I am omitting the transition element here. Beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. This is the second period. So this is 2s1. This is 2s2 electronic configuration. This is 2s2 to p1. carbon 2s2 2p2. So 2p3, 2p4, 2p5. So always 2s is completed. Kindly follow 1s to completed, 2s to completed. Then 2p6. The what is the interesting information here it is, just imagine, this is the first cell according to Bohr. Forget about the, whether it is circular or elliptical, forget about. It is one shell. So this is the second shell. Kindly follow. So what is happening now? In the second period, all the electrons added in the same shell. Kindly follow. 2s2 2p6 means totally 8 electrons. All the 8 electrons are added in the same shell. Kindly follow. 3 plus 3 plus 2, 6, 8. Okay. You're not there. So 8 electrons. In the case of that is neon. But at the same time, centrally the nucleus, protons also it is increasing. What is the atomic number here? So 10 is the atomic number of neon. So 10 proton will be there. So 10 proton and 10 electron is there. So what will happen now? Because the electron is very near to the nucleus, it is strongly attracting the electronic cloud. So cloud shrinks. So when you move across the period, atomic radius always decreases. Always decreases. Kindly follow. When you move across the group, even though proton increases, but it is added in the differential, so this effect is not there when you move across the group. So that's why I'm saying, please memorize these two statements. Across the group, covalent radius or atomic radius increases. Across the period, it is decreases. Now, it's a proof for the curve. Now, I am giving a proof. Atomic radius is plotted versus atomic number. In the case of second period, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Just see here. This is the atomic parts per million given, radius in parts per million given. Atomic number is given here. So just see here, starting from lithium, the size going on decreasing. Along the period, going on decreasing. It's a proof. Now, come for across the group now. Come for across the group. This is the first group. Hydrogen, I am not showing here. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. First group. Kindly follow. It is going on increasing. Going on increasing across the group. The same way halogen family, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Going on increasing atomic radius. So along the group, atomic radius increases or covalent radius increases. Along the period, it decreases. Now, let me come for the second concept, van der Waals radius. Very interesting radius. Please understand, my dear students. What is van der Waals radius? 1/2 of the distance between two nuclei of non-bonded atom of two adjacent molecules in a solid state is called van der Waals radius. Let me repeat again. 1/2 of the distance between two nuclei of non-bonded atom. Non-bonded atom. The first case, atomic radius or covalent radius, bonded atom. This is non-bonded atom of two adjacent molecules in a solid state is called van der Waals radius. Kindly follow now. This is one molecule. This is another molecule. Now, if we are taking this distance, kindly follow. We are taking now, and 1/2 of this distance, 1/2 of the distance between two nuclei which are not bonded, non-bonded atoms of two adjacent molecules in solid state. The state will be solid. Only in solid state, atom molecules are very closer. It's called van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius is always greater than covalent radius or atomic radius. Kindly follow. The next one. coming for ionic radius. How ion will get? If you take a metal, alkali metals, valence electron is one alkali metals. Say for example, sodium, 3s1. So what will happen now? It will immediately give electron. It will give now Na plus will give plus one electron. So sodium, positive ion. So what will happen now because of this? The one shell is completely vanishing, so the size of the ion will decrease. Positive ion will be always smaller than neutral atom. The same way, negative ion, if you take other example, say for example, the atom like the oxygen family and halogen family, say fluorine, chlorine, etc., the outermost configuration 2s2, 2p5. So, if you add one electron, they will attain the electronic configuration nearest electronic configuration inert gas. So, what will happen? They become F minus by adding one electron. Affinity towards electron. When it is having one electron extra, so protons less, electron is higher, so attracting is comparatively less. So, the extra electron moving away from the control, so it is larger than the neutral atom. So let me conclude, always positive ion will be smaller than neutral atom. Negative ion will be always greater than neutral atom. Okay, let me come back now. Ionic radius. The distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost electronic cloud in an ion is called ionic radius. I told you already what is positive ion, what is negative ion, how it is formed, I have explained. Now, suppose you take now in this case lithium. Lithium means you come in alkali metal 2s1. That means 1s2 is already there. So there are two shells, circular. First circular, second is also circular. 1, this is 2. So when I remove one electron, automatically what will happen? So electron is here, one is removed. So what is happening now? The size decreases. Kindly follow. So if you compare all positive ion in the first group, this is the decreasing order of size, or this is the increasing order of size. Kindly follow. Francium plus is greater than cesium plus, greater than rubidium, potassium, sodium, lithium, and H plus in the case of first group. So always positive ion is smaller than neutral atom. Then you will take a negative ion. Kindly follow a simple example. I am taking chlorine. Chlorine is 3s2, 3p5. 3s2, 3p5. That means already 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 already inside there. So 1s2 it is there. 2s2, 2p6, 8 electron the second shell it is there. In the third shell, we are having just only 7 electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By accepting one electron, it becomes 8. And because of this, the size is greater than this one. Because the total number of the electron and protons are equal here in the neutral atom, but here electron is excess, so control is less. So always negative ion greater than neutral atom. So in this case, the size is I minus greater than Br minus greater than Cl minus greater than F minus. You must know that. Now, it is my duty how we can determine the radius, atomic radius, determination of atomic radius in the case of homonuclear diatomic molecules and heteronuclear diatomic molecular compound. So let me take a simple example, A2 molecule. So DAA, distance between AA, say like hydrogen you think of, or H plus or H minus like that, or SCl if that is, this is A2 means identical, that's why I am saying. So RA, radius of A equal to DAA by 2 simply. So for chlorine it was measured as 1.98 Armstrong unit by 2, the answer is, this is the covalent radius, it is 0.99 Armstrong unit is the covalent radius. Very, very easy. Now, coming for Determination of ionic radius. Let me take example of potassium chloride compound. Ionic compound. Our aim is we want to determine the radius of K plus and the radius of Cl minus. We have to determine. How to determine this? The intermolecular distance between K plus and Cl minus, kindly follow, K and Cl, they will be in the form of ion, plus and minus. The nuclear distance between K plus and minus are found to be 3.14 Armstrong unit experimental value. This we can determine by X-ray and neutron diffraction, etc. So I can now write an equation D, distance within bracket K plus hyphen Cl minus equal to R K plus plus R Cl minus equal to 314 Armstrong unit. Kindly follow, K plus and Cl minus ions have the electronic configuration of argon, 18 electrons in the outermost. What is potassium? Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, 4s1. Potassium 4s1. Chlorine 3s2, 3p5. So, after losing one electron from neutral potassium, it will attain the argon configuration. After accepting one electron, chlorine ion becomes the chlorine becomes chlorine ion, that is the argon configuration, atomic number 18. Please follow. Now what we have to do now? We have to study about the effective nuclear charge for K plus and Kl minus, as we are going to study, and from the effective nuclear charge, how we can determine the radius of cation and anion. Kindly follow. This is very, very, very important. Determination of ionic radii. For a given noble gas configuration like argon, because potassium plus and Cl minus both are getting the same configuration of argon, the radius of ion is inversely proportional to effective nuclear charge. Kindly follow. Radius of cation is inversely proportional to Z plus cation. Z star is nothing but effective nuclear charge. Z star, effective nuclear charge. R C plus radius of cation. Same way, R A minus inversely proportional 1 by Z star A minus. Kindly follow. Inversely proportional to effective nuclear charge of anion. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So I can simply write now Z star C plus and Z star A minus are effective nuclear charges of cation and anion respectively. So let me go further. So on combining these two equations, 1 and 2, I can write R cation divided by R anion. If I divide, automatically I can get the nuclear charge of anion divided by nuclear charge of cation. Dear students, please follow. This equation I am deriving because the effective nuclear charge is inversely proportional to radius of the cation, radius of the anion. So from that we are getting this one. So this value we can calculate mathematically. We can calculate mathematically, and any one of the cation or anion we can determine because the interatomic distance between the KCl, it is given already, 3.14 Armstrong unit is given already. So that value is given. So from that value we can identify the radius of K plus and radius of Cl minus as follows. Kindly follow. For this, I am giving a tabular column. This is screening constant. S is the screening constant. I am introducing screening constant. That means the electron that is shielding the proton inside, that is nucleus inside, the other electrons. It is, so for example, electron is present in the second shell, it is protecting from third shell electrons. It is shielding. That is called screening. The term S is used. So here Slater rules are given to calculate S value. What is Slater rule? This is you calculate only for inert gas configuration, for that is for ions. The types of electrons and the S value it is given table. Please memorize. Please memorize. The outermost electron in the nth level 0. Suppose potassium 4s1 means this s1 electron should be neglected. It is 0. So we have to calculate only remaining 3s2 3p6 only we have to calculate. Consider. Kindly follow. Then for all the remaining electrons in the nth level, suppose the outermost level we have 6 electrons or 5 electrons. So 1 electron you have to neglect 0. Remaining 4. For 4 electron you have to multiply by 0.35. Nth level 4 into 0.35 you have to multiply. Then n minus 1 shell you have to multiply it by each electron 0.85. 0.85. And all other inner electron you have to multiply it by 1. So you will get the value for S. And S, from S we can calculate nuclear charge. How? Nuclear charge equal to atomic number minus S. Nuclear charge is equal to atomic number minus S. We know atomic number of the ion element, and this is a known fact. So Slater rules, we are calculating the constant, screening constant. So effective nuclear charge we can calculate. So let me do the problems. Kindly see now. So I am taking a specific example of calculation of effective nuclear charge for potassium ion plus. Potassium plus. So 1s2, what is the configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1. This is the neutral atom. According to the table you have seen, the nth level is 4. So that is only 1 electron, that should be 0. That value should be 0, we not take into account. So remaining electron only we have to think of, right? So when we are considering now the electron, ion, so now we are coming for the ion. We are considering only potassium ion. So we not worry about the 4s now. So we are considering only potassium ion. For that we have to see the nuclear charge. In that nuclear charge there are nth level 8 electron is there. So 1 electron you have to give equal to 0. 8 electron 0. So remaining 7 electron is there. So 7 into 0.35 you have to multiply. Kindly follow. Effective nuclear charge equal to Z minus S. Z is the 19. Potassium 19. Minus S we are going to calculate. So 0.35 why I am multiplying? Nth level except 1 electron in the outermost. So 7 into 0.35. Kindly follow why I am not considering 4s1. Only for potassium ion I am calculating, not in neutral atom. So the second case we have again 8 electron 0.85. 8 into 0.85. And third one 2 electron 2 into 1. So if you add everything, answer is 11.25. So 19 minus 11.25, answer is 7.75 is the effective nuclear charge for potassium plus. Please follow. Same way, let me calculate for chlorine. Cl minus, please follow. Cl minus 3s2 3p6. As usual, identical that of they are isoelectronic species. So identical. 7 into 10.35, that is 0.35. 8 into 0.85, 1 into 2. Identical, same value, 11.25. But only atomic number varies. Chlorine, 17. 17 minus 11.25, 5.75 nuclear charge. So, that one nuclear charge, kindly follow. The potassium is 7.75. This is 5.75. So, now we will come for the calculation. Calculate the radius of potassium Cl minus the ion, the interatomic nuclear distance. That is the problem we have seen already. Why I am giving for the calculation. So how I can write now? dk plus hyphen Cl equal to Rk plus Rcl minus equal to 3.14 Armstrong units. Then nuclear charge of, that is effective nuclear charge of potassium ion calculated 7.75. Chlorine it is 5.75. So we know the equation radius of cation by radius of anion Cl minus equal to nuclear charge of chlorine minus nuclear charge of K plus. Chlorine 5.75, then potassium 7.75. So this value if you calculate 0.75. So that means now what I am doing now, cross multiplying Rk plus into 0.75, that is nothing but, or I can say Rk plus radius of cation K plus equal to 0.75 or Cl minus. Can you follow now? From this I am getting this. Okay. Now you go for the next one. So from the equation, what I will do now, this I have already written. Already there is one chlorine. See, RCl minus is there. Instead of K plus, we are writing this. Can you follow? So here 1, here 0.75. So 1.75 chlorine minus the value it is 3.14 Armstrong unit. So Cl minus equal to 3.14 divided by 1.74. So the anion, radius of anion, that is chlorine, 1.81 Armstrong unit. So we have determined. Once we know this value, from this you can subtract this value, you will get automatically the other value. Can you follow? So, and again we can even, same way we can divide also. So 1.7 Cl minus 3.14, so RCl minus equal to 1.81. So thus we can get the value of radius of cation and anion 1.33 Armstrong unit for Rk plus, RCl minus 1.81. That means we can determine the ionic radius. Let me now concentrate the periodic properties. Remember, my dear students, coming for the periodic properties, size only the most important I told you. It is a periodic property. It increases across the group, decreases across the period. Now, ionization energy. What is ionization energy? Let me say. I told you all the periodic properties reverse of atomic radius. Let me come back. Ionization energy of an element is defined as the amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from the outermost shell of isolated gaseous atom of an element, resulting in the formation of positive ion. Let me repeat again. Ionization energy of an element is defined as the amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom of an element, resulting in the formation of positive ion. Say for example, metal ion Mg gas form, Mgn plus 1 electron is coming. So that will be first ionization energy I can write. If you remove 2 electrons, second ionization. If you remove 3 electrons, third ionization. Kindly follow. Now, so ionization energy is a periodic property. How? Because, kindly follow, it decreases across the group and increases across the period. Just reverse of size, please remember. It decreases across the group and increases across the period. Let me explain. Just here, a simple example I am giving here. Ionization energy for the one side, the right hand side, 18th group, left hand side, first group I am showing here. The lowermost ionization energy, first group. Highest ionization energy is the helium, inert gas elements. So helium is the highest ionization energy. It's the most stable element in the periodic table. Next neon, next argon, next krypton, xenon, like that. So first group, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, lowest ionization energy. You first follow this. Now, factors which influence ionization energy. There are 5 factors. Number 1, atomic size. Number 2, screening effect. Just now we have calculated screening effect. Number 3, nuclear charge. We have calculated nuclear charge. And half-filled and completely filled orbitals. This I have already explained. In the case of chromium, D4, but half-filled means more stable, D5. In the case of copper, D9, completely filled, D10. So half-filled and completely filled orbital and nature of orbital, S, P, D and F orbital. So these 5 factors which influence ionization energy. Let me explain one by one. Kindly follow. Let me take first one, atomic size. What way? Generally, atomic size will affect the ionization energy. Or I can simply say, ionization energy depends on atomic size. What way? When atomic size increases, ionization energy decreases. When atomic size increases, ionization energy decreases. I can simply say now, ionization energy decreases across the group, increases across the period. Kindly follow. Based on this atomic size. The next one, screening effect. What is meant by screening effect? The screening effect means the inner electrons. So the screening effect is suitable only for moving across the group. It is applicable only for the group, but not for the period. Please follow. This screening effect is applicable only for group, but for period you cannot compare. So now let me see, ionization energy depends on screening effect. What way? Higher the screening effect, higher will be ionization energy. Higher the screening effect, higher will be ionization energy. Screening effect, you know already, yes, we have already calculated. The next one, nuclear charge. Ionization energy also depends on nuclear charge. So nuclear charge depends on, that is, the ionization energy depends on nuclear charge. I can simply say, higher the nuclear charge, higher will be ionization energy. Higher the nuclear charge, higher will be ionization energy. This applicable only for periods. This is only for groups. Please keep it in your mind. Why it is not applicable for group? Because when you move across the group, the nuclear charge also increases. But what is happening now? And because of when you move across the period, even though nuclear charge increases, the size decreases. So, affinity, more ionization energy. So, it's very difficult to remove the electron, ionize the metal atom. So, generally, across the group, ionization decreases, energy decreases. Across the period, ionization energy increases. Highest ionization energy is helium. So, nuclear charge. Next, half-filled and completely filled orbitals. What is this half-filled and completely filled orbital? Let me take the example of lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon. Let me take this second period. So, if you move across the group, we are expecting ionization energy should increase. That means expected will be greater than this. Kindly follow. But if you look into the literature value, so it is not that way. It will be like this. Kindly follow. That is boron. That is the next beryllium, next carbon. So now beryllium is more stable because completely filled orbital, 2s2. Because of the half-filled orbital, ionization is very, very difficult. The same way, completely filled orbitals, this is completely filled orbitals, s2. Then you will give another example, half-filled orbitals, kindly follow now, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine you take now. Again, ionization energy increases across the group. As per the rule, across the group increases, across the period increases, across the group decreases. So we are expecting this is the order. But what is the actual order is, it is not that actual order. C, then O, then N, then F. This is the correct order. Because nitrogen is a half-filled orbital, highly stable, so ionization energy is higher than oxygen. So these are the 2 points. So half-filled or complete filled orbital also will affect the ionization energy. The nature of orbital. Kindly follow, if you take a nucleus, then when you go for suppose fourth shell, 3D, 4F, right? Fourth shell. So 1, let me write the form of Bohr, kindly. 1, 2, 3, and 4, fourth shell. So in the fourth shell, if you consider now, what are 4? 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f. There are 4 orbitals are there. In the fourth level, n equal to 4, 4s, 4p, 4d. Now you compare this orbital, which is closer to the nucleus. S is very close to the nucleus. So removing electron from s orbital is very, very difficult. So I can simply write S is greater than P greater than D greater than F. So nature of orbital will affect the ionization energy. Okay, next let me go for electron affinity, just opposite. Third property, electron affinity is defined as the energy released when electron is added to the outermost orbital of a neutral gaseous atom, specifically oxygen family and the halogen family, to form gaseous negative ion. Gaseous negative ion. So here I am writing A gas, N electron, A gas minus. So here write Ag minus, that is first electron affinity. Electron affinity. If you remove if you add 2 electron, second electron affinity. So energy released when 1 electron is added to the outermost orbital of a neutral gaseous atom to form a gaseous negative ion, that is called the electron affinity. Please, my dear student, have it in mind. You cannot add electron to the sodium because more positive, low ionization. It cannot accept electron. But when you go for the oxygen and fluorine family, only they will accept electron because they are having high electron affinity. Okay, next. Electron affinity is also a periodic property because it decreases across the group, increases across the period. Reverse of atomic radius. Okay, what are the factors? So before discussing the factors, let me give one anomaly here. So if you go for fluorine family, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and astatine. Astatine is a metal, so we're neglecting that. So these are the non-element. Bromine gas, chlorine gas, bromine liquid, iodine solid. Kindly follow. They are in the F2Cl2 Br2I2 element, molecular element. Now, what I have already informed you, generally electron affinity decreases across the group. So which should be highest? Fluorine should be highest. But if you see the diagram, here electron affinity versus the corresponding atomic number is plotted. So we are getting the fluorine is having lower electron affinity when compared to chlorine. So we have to give explanation why. Often this question is asked. The element having high electron affinity in the periodic table is chlorine. Chlorine, kindly follow. The element having the high ionization energy is helium. So, The reason is low because of fluorine, a small atom, more electrons are embedded in that. By adding one more electron, that negatively charged more is in the case of fluorine atom that cannot attract one more electron. Negative will not attract one more electron. That's why affinity less when compared to chlorine. It's a larger size. It can accommodate all the electrons. So easily accommodate one more electron becoming Cl minus. That's why it's having highest electron affinity. As in the case, it depends on a number of factors. Atomic size, screening effect, nuclear charge, half filled and complete filled orbital, nature of orbital. But nature of orbital here no effect. So I neglect that. Only these four. I will go little fast because it is just like ionization energy. Electron affinity depends on atomic size. What way? It decreases when atomic size increases. It decreases when atomic size increases. Right. Screening effect. This is operating only in the group. Higher the screening effect, higher will be the higher the screening effect, lower will be the electron affinity. Kindly follow. Nuclear charge. Higher the nuclear charge, higher will be electron affinity. Here, half filled and complete filled orbital, same way, will have little affinity because half filled is stable, the completely filled also stable. So in stable atom will not attract electron to form ion, negative ion. So it will affect again electron affinity. The next one, electronegativity. Fourth property. Electronegativity may be defined as the tendency of an atom in a covalently bonded molecule to attract electron towards itself. Covalently bonded molecule. Kindly follow. Electronegativity may be defined as the tendency of an atom in a covalently bonded molecule to attract electron towards itself. Now let me take two examples here. I will take now chlorine. It is 100% covalent. I will take HCl. This is also covalent. Kindly follow. This is also covalent. But a partial ionic character is there. So here this is a covalent molecule. HCl is a covalent molecule. So electronegativity now I am applying only here, not in this 100% covalent. I am not applying. Kindly follow. So when I write H dot Cl, electronic configuration electron we know 8 electron, the totally 7 electron in the outermost, hydrogen is 1 electron. Chlorine means fluorine, chlorine, so third 3s2 3p5. Kindly follow 2 electron here, 8 electron octet in the electrons. Kindly follow now. So what will happen here? Electronegativity may be defined as the tendency of an atom in a covalently bonded H and Cl are covalently bonded molecule, but to attract electron towards chlorine attracting towards electron. This bond pair of H and Cl shared pair moving towards chlorine. So partial positive and partial negative will be there. That's why this is applicable for electronegativity arises. Kindly follow. So for 100% covalent, this is not applicable. So next one. Most commonly used scales are Pauling scales, Mulliken scale, Sanderson scale, Alfred and Roche scale were used. What we are following is only Pauling scale we are using. According to Pauling, fluorine is 4. This is the element having highest electronegativity is fluorine. My dear students, here instead of discussing all these things, the Mulliken, Sanderson, Alfred, this scale, I will concentrate only on Pauling scale. Just listen, let me take second group. Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine. So this is 4, this is chlorine. So 4, just simply reduce 0.5, 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1. Hydrogen is 2.1. Kindly follow. This you have to memorize. Because when you go for the chemical bond formations, the difference in electronegativity will decide the ionic or covalent. Okay? Right. Kindly follow. Next. Let me go now. A scale not necessary. So electronegativity is a periodic property. It decreases across the group, increases across the period. What are the factors which affect? Again, these two factors not suitable. So atomic size, screening effect, and nuclear charge alone will affect. So electronegativity depends on atomic size. What way? When atomic size increases, electronegativity decreases. Opposite. Now screening effect across the group. Higher the screening effect, lower will be the electronegativity. Lower will be the electronegativity. Nuclear charge. Higher the nuclear charge, higher will be the electronegativity. Kindly follow. Higher the nuclear charge, higher will be the electronegativity. So now, let me say now, so electronegativity in the case of fluorine 4, chlorine 3, bromine 2.5 something, in the group it is decreasing. But in the period it is increasing. Kindly follow. Now, lastly, I will come for the valency or oxidation state. The combining capacity of an element in a molecule or compound is called valency. Valency is a whole number. For example, I want to write the formula for sodium sulfate. How will I will write? I have discussed under the basic concept. I will write sodium valency, I know 1. Sulfate, I know the valency 2 minus. So I will put it opposite. So I can write Na2SO4, sodium sulfate. So by knowing the valency, I can write the formula. This is the oxidation state, +1 and minus. That is oxidation. If release electron positive, accept electron negative, so then we will call it as that particular element will be oxidation state. Hydrogen 1. Oxidation state may be +1 or -1. In the case of lithium hydride, metallic hydride, this is -1. Oxygen 2, valency, oxidation state always -2, but in hydrogen peroxide -1, in fluorine compound +2, because fluorine is the most electronegative element. Fluorine always the valency 1, oxidation state 1. Sodium 1 valency, oxidation state +1. Calcium 2 valency, oxidation state is 2. I hope you have enjoyed the class. Just see here. Based on that, you can easily now memorize easily. Alkali metal valency 1. Alkali earth metal valency 2. Boron family 3. Carbon 4. It's going on increasing. Then decreasing. Nitrogen 3. Oxygen 2. Fluorine 1. Inert gas 0. So very easily we can. In the case of D block and F block element, it is variable valency 1 to 8. Kindly follow. So, my dear students, thank you very much for the patience hearing. Dear students, kindly click like, share and subscribe button in YouTube when you are viewing my video. I am going to complete the entire +1, +2 syllabus up to PhD level. For NEET entrance examination coaching, students who are preparing +1, +2 and +2 completed students, kindly visit our Veggie.us. View our achievements for 20 years in the home page. Our site has 50 to 60 recorded lessons. Each subject is having 50 to 60 NEET model tests. There are unit tests, 45 questions each. And all these questions are taken from IIT, AIMS, AFMT, etc. These questions also I will discuss after completing the entire chapters. +1, +2, entire completed, I will take question also in each subjects, including. The another most important feature of review, that is Veggie.us, review is a menu is there. What is mean? After completing the test, if you click review, you know your answer will be in blue color, correct answer will be in yellow color. And also another feature, all the solutions will be in recorded lesson, not in other online coaching, typed matter, if you like. So the professor will be explaining the answer. So any student who are interested, if you join with your daughters, I can give guarantee you will get more than 600 plus you will get. Dear students, but better you start with 10th or plus 1, 100% will get 600 plus. And also we are giving this facility to the poor people also to get benefit. We are allowing only charging 10,000 rupees per year for all the subjects. So you have to pay in the name of Santi, Indian Bank, account number 712719471, IFC code IDIB 000P134, and my phone number is 9894176425. Thank you.